Welcome back to Neurodivergent Nurture. I am Allison. I am autistic. I am back from Mexico, and I definitely didn't film there because I was too busy having a horrible time. Tell you more about that. So I am back from round 2 of IVF stimulations in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico at the Live Clinic. I am currently in a waiting period for news on embryos, which I'll tell you about. And I also know that I said that I would film in this episode from Mexico, and I definitely did not because I had a horrible UTI that started not long after I got there. So I did learn, yes, you can take a whole lot of antibiotics while you're going through stims and egg retrieval. UTI led to another infection and another problem, which I'm just going to go ahead and have a boundary here and not talk about because it's a little bit gross. But that's what happened. Yeah, and the UTI turned into a horrible kidney infection. And I have never been to a hospital in another country, but I thought I might have that first venture. Didn't. And I also thought it was caused by letrozole, my new enemy medication that I don't like very much. Might be true, might not be. I don't know. My husband flew out early because I was trying to just, once again, have him take care of the cats because that's top priority for me and stay home for most of it. And so I was going to do the majority of this process by myself. But yeah, after some time when the hormone medication is building up, the UTI is scary. I had to get Ubers and navigate my way around. I was needing a man of my own, and he came. So thankfully we had a little more time together there. And then of course, God, what else? I mean, I still love the clinic there. The staff were great. And I love the way the doctor handled me so compassionately. And she would always write me directly an email to say, it's going to be okay. Here's what we're going to do. And if this happens, kind of getting into my brain of what I'm worried about and just helping me manage that. So I had a good experience there. And even though it was a new doctor and it was change, and change is hard for me, I very much enjoyed her. And I hope she stays. You know, there is a place that I could have gone to, I'm realizing, in Colorado for IVF CNY, but I'm a little nervous about, let's say, if we had to do a third round or something. They're so big. I already feel like we did a little screen with them before I went off to this second round just to kind of explore our options. And I already felt like I was a number in a corporation. So I wasn't really a big fan of that kind of feel, considering I get so much personalized attention in Puerto Vallarta. So I like being there. Oh, and I got a better place to stay. If you are doing IVF, I highly advise building an environment for yourself. I know I say I don't give advice here, but from my experience, having a place where right outside my door there were birds singing, it was calm, there wasn't a busy city street, it was a lovely view, ground floor, so I felt more grounded rather than being in a high rise. So I guess this applies if you travel for IVF, maybe what to look for. And kind of building my nest there, making sure I had enough water, making sure that I cooked my own food the whole time and that I was nourishing myself. So I looked for a nice kitchen, and I really feel like I found the place for me, and it was not expensive. It was wonderful. And it also allowed me to walk to the clinic, and that made, when I could. Certainly later on in stims, when walking hurt with every step, just because it moved the stomach region around. Now, I was taking Ubers then, but getting my walking in when that's basically all I could do, and that was my only adventure for the day, was very nice. Beautiful flora and fauna in that area. Right. So, husband flew out early and I was working the whole time. That was a different thing. It was all right. I explained to my coworker and my boss ahead of time, hey, I might have the camera off sometimes, might need to lay down and do some meetings, which I definitely ended up doing. And during this trip, I think I handled it all gracefully, but I'm in HR and we had a reduction in force at the time. So just learning we were terminating people's employment and being a part of that was stressful. But, I took care of myself the best I could. But all in all, between working and having a kidney infection and other things, I only made it to the beach one time. I just wanted to stay in that bed and the toilet. Let's be honest. I didn't want to, but I had to. So I only got to the beach that on a final day after my egg retrieval. There was a sweet instance where I ran into a person that I had seen at the clinic last time. We were both getting our first egg retrieval. I'm 42, she's 44, she's from Quebec, Canada. Her and her partner were there, same procedure. So she was back there for her transfer, and I was very excited for her. She didn't do genetic testing. So, see, that's very important to me. To avoid that risk that I found out from last time that I had genetically abnormal embryos, they would have led to miscarriage. That's my choice. I feel like I need to know that. But they were going for it. And so now I have someone else in my life, thankfully, that's doing IVF that I know. And we were able to exchange information, and now we're still in touch. And I don't know how she's doing. I'm aware of when her pregnancy test day was, and I'm there for her either way. And I know that she'll be there for me. And she's been cheering for me through my egg retrieval process. So, wow, amazing to have someone outside of Reddit people and me talking to myself here to talk about this process with. So, I love it. I love it. Okay. So, here's something. I have a new consideration that I was not open to before. The first egg retrieval, when we had the 2 suboptimal embryos, and we were going to go again, the doctor was like, have you thought about donor eggs? And I certainly never had. And I had to ask my stupid questions like, so they won't have any of my genetics, right? Like, just want to make sure, right? There's nothing that can slip in there besides the nurture part of it. Oh, wow. Just thinking of what I named my channel. Kind of a little convergence here. So the nurture might be very important in the end. It's always going to be very important, of course. Something just clicked. Anyway, I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing donor eggs. I'm not going to look through some like Tinder like profiles to find some 20-year-old woman's eggs. And I don't even know if she's got like schizophrenia in her family or anything. Like, do you really get all the information that's the truth? And I was feeling like kind of assaulted by that idea at the time. And I was thinking, wow, how much I want to give my genetics, my female lineage a chance to heal. I was thinking of this, I don't know if there's something real to it or symbolism, but I was always really hoping that I would have a daughter and that I would see that the trauma that I've experienced would not continue, like I would make a change and it would be visible and the chain would be broken, and a woman, coming from me, a girl in her childhood, would have a good experience, and something about her, my DNA, like coming from that. There was just something healing about that was going to be, I guess, in my mind, like a final healing, like a really locking it in. this is the interpretation that I had, and now I am thinking differently. Um, so what if this doesn't work? And I was thinking about this on the trip. First, in a discussion with my husband, we both assessed that okay, there could be a point where we realize this didn't work. He's not going to push me to keep going any more than I want to. I'm not going to push myself to an insane point. I'm not going to do, okay, I don't know how many rounds, but this can't go on for too much longer because this lose myself, find myself, um, destroy my health, get it back, but also never really get it back because these medications have a long lasting effect and this hormone imbalance is fucking with me. So, anyway, if it doesn't work, we can come to peace with it. We can say, wow, it really felt like we were supposed to do this, but maybe there was something we needed to learn to be able to have a point of growth in life and to be able to give back in some way, I guess. I'm not sure. And then, honestly, looking at some experiences on YouTube of people that have used donor eggs who say, I wish I had just done this sooner. Maybe they went through 10 rounds and then realized, wow. And I'm thinking, hey, it's about a soul that needs to get through. In the spiritual teachings that I follow, it would be a soul that's just trying to get back to earth, get back into a body, have an experience, find purpose, reunite or unite with whoever they need to unite with. And I want to be a vessel for that. That is more important than me having a child with my eyes and my smile. I will make room if I need to for the grieving of my genetics. That's what they say. You have to kind of really get with that. Don't pretend to be okay with it. But I'm looking at that now. And yes, hesitation of having a teenager someday, just like me, who's like, I hate you. And if they had the option to go run off and find their real mom, ouch, that would hurt, right? And that's not holding me back anymore because you know what? I'm not going to keep this a secret. That's the thing. I had to hold a secret as a child, and it hurt and it still hurts. And I refuse to have some sort of secret that my child was from a donor egg if that happens. I want them to know. And if they can get in touch with that person when they're 18, it depends on the agreement that you have when you use donor eggs, but they should always know. Plus, medical history, hello, they need to know that, and we need to tell all their providers that. But and even if they did reach that horrible teenage stage, despite our best parenting, if they're like needing to rebel and they just need to go find out and they go through a thing and they're like, I will accept all of that going forward to it. What is that movie? The movie with the alien. And she finds out in the end that she could see the future all along. Well, I guess I won't spoil it for you, but anyway, she knew her life was going to move forward with tragedy in the end. But she went forward with it anyway. I'm kind of feeling that vibe. Not tragedy, but just accepting that being a parent is not going to be easy, and there's going to be some things to get through. And if they need to have that rebellion point and struggle with the idea as they really truly let it sink in as they get older, all right, fine. I'm still going to be a wonderful mom. And Roberto, that's his name. Have I ever told you? Roberto. He's going to be a wonderful dad. And it's all good. It's all good because we're going to be honest and open. Let's get back to what actually happened, right? Flying back from the clinic, flying back from Mexico to the US on Mother's Day. And I let myself have this. I had 4 embryos at that moment because we were still counting. They let you know on day 5 when who made it to blast and who didn't, blastocyst. And at that moment, yeah, I had 4 embryos. And I decided that I was celebrating Mother's Day, mother to 4 embryos. And Roberta was like, you want to be careful about that. I think it's going to actually feel really different from this when you're a mother. I'm like, well, of course it will. But I just didn't want to be like, oh, poor me. I'm doing IVF. Oh, Mother's Day. Look away. Oh, God, no one say anything to me. This is triggering. I'm just not. I just wasn't going to turn that way. And I just went the complete other direction and said, hey, it's my Mother's Day too. It's my Mother's Day too. And you know what? When I realized that I was going to go forward with IVF, it was last year Mother's Day as well. I was coming home from a retreat where I had, felt like the clouds parted and I really knew something and I needed to be a mother. So I love this 1-year anniversary to myself too. Of this, I had the realization and I have this feeling and something's going to happen. It just is. Okay. Where are we? So then we got the news of 2 suboptimal. I was like, oh no, just like last time, 2 suboptimal. We had more eggs retrieved this time. We had 13 instead of 10, but the same number still made it to fertilized or mature. 7 mature, 6 fertilized. Yeah. So it was like just feeling like a repeat of last time, which felt a little bit depressing. All in all, we have 1 normal. We have 1 normal embryo and 2 suboptimal embryos. So I'm still excited. I'm back to being excited. And I'm glad that I'm recording this now when I feel so much better. It's taken me the 2 weeks after I've gotten back to start to exercise because you just can't until you get your period. So exercising again, did like a 6 a.m. sunrise hike in the mountains to really just go get it. And did some nice things for myself. Oh, hell yeah. I went shopping. I got new makeup. I got new hair products. I needed to feel a little like feminine and do my nails. Okay. So I feel normal again. Long story short, and positive. And I like to know that I have these options now. Mid-June, I will know the genetic testing results again. And so from there, we could find out if it's time to go for the transfer. And it could all happen pretty quickly. Given the way my cycle's going, it could be like, all right, start these progesterone shots in the butt or estrogen, however they start you. I feel like I know the whole egg retrieval process now, but the transfer process, I don't know. The only thing that terrifies me is the thought of having a full bladder. If you've ever gone through this before, give me a comment, let me know. I mean, how do you have a full bladder and go through a procedure at all? I mean, I've done an ultrasound that way, but I don't know. That sounds like, I hope there's no pressure on the stomach or something. I would actually prefer a pain pill that doesn't even let me feel that I have to pee. That would be great. Probably the least of my problems though, because I would do anything to try to have a baby. Almost anything. So that'll be an episode. I really hope that that's the news that I'm sharing next time. If not, I'll have some decisions to make about am I trying this new CNNY clinic? Are we going to have his sperm shipped to the States? Am I going to start with donor eggs right away and just start looking through profiles of people and finding the perfect match for my husband that looks kind of like me? It's crazy. But I think that's how it goes. You get to look at different profiles, different egg donor banks. Oh, I kind of love being naive in this process. No matter how much I've looked on Reddit, I still feel like I'm like, how does this all work? This is wild that this is even possible and that I'm going to I know I'm talking like it's going to happen. This good embryo might work. Shit, these suboptimal embryos might work, but I'm still holding this excitement that there are other options for me. And I can't even believe that I'm embracing it. So I'm really glad that I'm saying that. Oh, you know what? I also noticed, back to kind of the environment that I built for myself, I also noticed that since I was cooking for myself the whole time, generally low inflammatory foods. I am vegan. I don't eat sugar. I don't cook with oil. I don't fry things. I don't have caffeine right now. That's been important to me to prepare my womb and to stay hydrated. And I do take electrolytes. So last time I was out to eat almost every day. And, restaurants, of course, are going to give you all the tasty stuff that you love, and it's going to be fried and salted, and it'll probably be fried in shitty oils. But I felt good most of the time in terms of the bloating. The bloating was much worse last time, and the nausea and overall reactions to the medication. So I want to say that cooking for myself, I was nourishing myself, and I noticed the difference when I went to one restaurant the whole time and I came back feeling terrible. Everything was inflamed, like my bladder was back to being horrible again just when I was starting to feel better. Yeah. So take good care of yourself when you're going through this. And that could mean a number of things. I didn't mind really working the whole time because I didn't come back to a wall of emails and stuff. I was just kind of caught up, and I had let people know where I'm at. So, again, being open with people has really helped me. I had a couple of very good friends that were checking in with me at 7 p.m. some nights we just meditated. They just let me know that they were starting to meditate, and I did the same thing. And we didn't even need to talk. That was another nourishing thing that happened. And then I had friends, the women in my family were checking in on me. I had some phone calls. I would just give them some updates. Really nice to have. So this I didn't feel needed to be a secret. I told the people that I felt really were supportive of me, would understand me, would have good discretion, and that I was ready to share with. So that happened to encompass a lot of good women in my life. Oh, yeah. So next steps, I think I already said it. So I'm going to wait on these results and keep living my life. I like that in the last video, I was giving myself that self talk of like, life goes on. I'm not just going to hold out and just wait with nervous tension the whole time. And I feel like I've really followed through on that because I am recognizing of how to use my time best. For example, I started feeling better after I got my period and after I was able to exercise, like I mentioned. And now is the time when I'm scheduling meetings. I'm making plans. I am being more communicative. I'm preparing because I know when I get those results in June, it's going to either go two ways. It's going to catapult me into the next plan, and I'm going to start booking travel, and I'm going to go out there. Or it might be a disappointment moment where I am going to need grieving time, let the waves of sadness go by me. And that'll be okay because I've just done all this action, and I can let the people I need to know that I need to chill for a little bit, and it can all wait. A lot of things can wait. Um, so I'm getting ready. I've been getting ready this whole past year, and I am a little bit tired of swallowing all the prenatals and the COQ10 and refraining from coffee because I love coffee. So that's been it's been fine. And just shout out to my wonderful supportive husband who I finally let start watching these videos. I haven't really let anyone watch these yet. A couple people, but I'm actually not quite ready for it to all get out there. Not everybody knows. And I do want to have some sort of surprise factor. I'm pregnant. Maybe I should just keep saying that in my life. I'm pregnant. It's a girl. All right. And to sign off, I don't know what my next video is going to be. I'm not going to try to tell you what it's going to be. No idea. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to live the mystery with you. All right. Bye.